Hi, and welcome back to episode 15 of my crafting podcast. Welcome back to my crafting podcast. This is where I share all of my fun goings on. And if you'd like, make sure to follow me over on Instagram because I share all of my in progress stuff over there as well. So this morning I've got my ice water and then I have an iced chai. I don't know if having 2 drinks means this is going to be a long podcast or not, but this is usually how I start my morning. Make sure I have a ton of water and then something good to drink. And by the way, if you're interested, this little cup is from Tam's Design Jungle. She does personalized cups for you and I love it so much. So I'll make sure to link her below. So before we get started, I wanted to share with you what I'm wearing because I have some new merch in the shop and I really love pink, as most of you probably already can figure out. And so I wanted to make sure I had a pink sweatshirt. This one has my regular logo on it, but actually I also have another logo that I was considering. So I'll flash up a picture here. Let me know if you'd like to see this on a hoodie or a t-shirt. This is actually my official logo. My company is Erica Made Designs, but I always just do sew with Erica and some fun sewy stuff on my merch because I think that's a little more fun. But you can leave a comment below if you'd like to see the Erica Made logo on something as well because I love it. It's got a cute little flower and it's just so happy. The quilt on the wall behind me is my Sweet Pea quilt. This is one of my favorite spring quilts. I love making it. The blocks are really good size. I want to say 16 to 18 inches maybe. They're huge. And so the finished quilt is actually a really good size. It's taking up quite a bit of space on my wall back here, but I always love putting it up in the spring because it just makes me so happy. I've also got my March Stitchy and Quilty truck up on the wall because I'm going to be showing you April today, so I just haven't swapped them out yet. And you can get all of that in my shop, so I will link everything below. All right, I think that covers what I'm wearing and all the stuff behind me, so let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to start putting a new little segment into these podcasts called my featured notions segment. And that's because I do have some really fun notions that I love and use all the time, and I just want to share with you. And my first one is going to be my diagonal seam tape. I always get questions on this tape. This is the tape that's on my machine in any of my tutorials and it's perfect. I did just film a little video showing you how to use this and why I love it so much. So that'll be coming soon, probably after this podcast. But I did want to feature this little notion because it's such a little thing, but it saves so much time. So basically what it is, instead of drawing diagonal lines on any blocks that you're needing to sew diagonally, you can just line it up with this seam tape on your machine and then you don't have to draw those lines anymore. So I still draw lines in my tutorials, but you'll see this and really this is what I'm using. So I wanted to feature that. And then I do have a second one today because I've been using this so much. So this is from Modern American Vintage and this is a Hera marker and I think this is his ambrosia wood choice. He has a ton of different wood choices on his website and I actually have a whole set of these. So I have this, I have a seam ripper, and I also have a point turner all out of this wood, but he has a ton of different ones and they're all just absolutely beautiful. This particular tool though, I have been using so much. So if you don't know what a Hera marker is, it's basically a way to mark lines onto your quilt before you quilt it that you can just follow. So instead of drawing with a water-soluble pen or a friction erasable pen. I do use those a lot, but if you don't wash your project and it gets cold, those friction lines will pop back up. So I've actually been really loving this. So how you use these is just like you would any other Hera marker or a pen to mark your lines on your quilt. So you would put your ruler down on your quilt top and then just run this right along it with this little edge right here. It just leaves a really nice crease in your fabric and then you follow that crease line when you're quilting your project. And this is so nice. It doesn't leave any, pin marks or anything like that, and they're really easy to see, the crease lines. And so this is one of my favorite new tools. I've been using it nonstop anytime I have to quilt anything, and I love it. So I wanted to share this and the diagonal seam tape with you guys. Okay, let's dive right in. I think I'm gonna start out with cross stitch because I just have a few pieces to show you, and mostly I've just been working on my own projects because I just haven't had a whole lot of time. So let's dive right in. So you guys have all probably already seen the March truck, and I know March is ending now, but I wanted to show it one more time just in case you missed it. And then I'm gonna swap that out now with my April truck. I did show it in my last podcast, but just in case you missed it, the April truck is now live, and it features that cute little chick on top with the umbrella, and then there's some little flowers and a little chick there and here. And then of course, like last time, I am gonna give you a sneak peek of the May cross stitch because I think it just turned out so cute. So it features those adorable little lavender tulips in the back. of the truck along with a little watering can, and then there is that field of flowers or tulips underneath the truck. And this one might actually be one of my favorites. I love it so much. I did have to go out and buy some purple floss and not fabric. I had some fabric in my stash, but I had to do some digging to find it because normally I don't actually quilt or stitch with purple very often. So I'm so glad I gave it a go though, because I think it turned out really, really cute. I love it. And then that polka dot fabric on the back is from Lella Boutique. And I do usually show you my backing. So this is what it looks like. It's just hot glued on there with a washer, and then it just stays on this piece with a magnet. And this piece I got, I think it was last year when I started this series. It's from Hobby Lobby, and it's just a little wooden, I want to say it's about 6.5 by 6.5 is the size. So I think people have had a hard time finding this exact one. It does have a little hanger on it, so I apologize, but I'm sure you can find something similar at your local craft store. And then I am going to give you a sneak peek of June. Now, June is actually done, but I wanted to kind of show you this floss because look at those fun colors. It's going to be a really fun truck and super bright and springy and more summery actually than springy. And then this adorable bag is from Goose Designs. She sent this to me. It's her sunflower bag. It's so cute. I love it. But I did want to give you a little sneak peek of the floss for June. And then this is what my bag looks like when I prepare it. So I've got my needles in here. This is from Fat Quarter Shop, and I still have my Pat Carson size 26 needles left. I know they went out of business and they're like impossible to get now, so I'm kind of hanging on to that. Those are inside here. And then I have these little Omni Grid scissors in here. I've got a mini design board in here to hold all my flosses, and then I have all my floss, and then I usually will just add my fabric in here, and then as I'm stitching it's just all in this bag and I can grab it and go. But this is what is left over from this June truck, so that will be coming soon. You guys are gonna have to wait till next month to see the sneak peek for that. All right, let's get into my knitting and crochet because I do have a couple fun projects for you. So I haven't had a whole lot of time. I've mainly just been knitting at knit night, and it's 2 hours and we go talk and have fun, and sometimes I get stuff done, sometimes I don't. So this is my current whip. This is my knit whip. This is my drawstring squishy bag 3. This is a free tutorial here, and I used this lovely Poppie cotton fabric and then just some of that rope that I used for Jack's rope bowl, if you saw that. And then I just put some leather handles on here, so I think it's really cute. And then this is just it's not a canvas, but it's just a natural cotton color. And so I love this bag so much. It's probably one of my faves. But inside here is this cozy winter shawl by Melanie Meilinger, I think is how you say her last name. And this is actually the second time I'm making this. So the first time I made it in this kind of gray, it was a cumulus gray yarn, and I love it so much. I decided to make another one. My kids love it too, so we're always kind of fighting over that one. So I thought another one was in order. And this one, I purchased this yarn from my local yarn shop, and this is such interesting yarn. It's Barocco Remix, and this is an old whip, by the way. I've had this in my stash for probably like 2 years, and I just kind of lost interest and stopped working on it, but I recently picked it back up and I love it so much. So one of the cool things about this yarn is that it's 100% recycled yarn. So it has nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, and linen all blended together, and the yarn itself is kind of interesting. It's got like little bumpies on it, and it's just really kind of an interesting yarn. It has that natural look to it. Looks like a natural fiber, kind of rustic, but it's actually super, super soft. So it almost kind of looks like it would be like a coarse, you know, I think they call it toothy yarn. It's not at all. It's really soft, and I love it. And I love that it's recycled because that makes me feel like I'm doing something good for the environment. Okay, so to go along with that natural vibe, I have it on my Likey wooden needles. I love these needles, but the cord is not my favorite. The cord kind of has its own memory, and I love my Chowgu cords. I'm sorry, they are my favorite. But I do like these needles, and it kind of fit with this project, so that's what it's on. And then here's kind of what my project is looking like. So when I picked it up, it was just this little bottom bit done, and then now I've got some more cables going on. This is such a fun knit, and you do have to sort of pay attention, but it's also semi-mindless because it's so repetitive. Once you get the motions down, it's really easy to remember. And then one of the things that I do, and if you're a new knitter, I do suggest this, is you'll see I've got those little stitch markers all the way across, and each of the stitch markers represents kind of a new section. So this stitch marker right here is letting me know that I have this cable right here. In between there, I've got these little yarn over sections. Then these 2 stitch markers are indicating my next cable, another kind of yarn over section, another cable, and so on. And so I always keep those stitch markers in to remind me that I'm starting a new section, because while it is pretty repetitive, if you're not paying attention, you can kind of mess up, and it's easy to not notice that you've messed up until you're coming back across. I really like having those on there. It helps me keep track of what section I'm on, and if I do mess up, it's easy to count and see where I messed up. So I do hope to keep working on this project. This yarn is nice and soft. It has that cotton feel to it, so I really like it, and it's just kind of a nice relaxing knit. So that's what I have been working on for knitting. Now I do have a couple crochet projects that I'm doing that I want to share. So last podcast I showed you my daughter's crochet sweaters that she's been working on, and you guys all loved them, and she was really excited to read all your comments, so thank you so much for encouraging her. She's already working on a dress, I think I told you that, and my other daughter Katie, who you've seen on here as well, is working on a crochet top. And since everybody's been crocheting, it's kind of inspired me to pick up my hook and do something else. So I found this really fun pattern. This is from Crochet 365 Knit 2, and it's just this sunburst crochet block, and then you crochet them together into this lovely market bag. And I love this project so much. It was really fun, and one of the things I always forget about crochet is how fast it is. Crochet is so fast, and once you get the stitches down, it's really easy, and it's kind of a lot of fun to work on, because each one of these was their own little project sort of, and so it's like finishing a bunch of little things, and then when you put them together into something, you know, larger, so it doesn't seem quite so overwhelming like I have to knit this whole bag. You're knitting little pieces and then putting them together. So I think it turned out really cute, and the one on her website was sunflowers, so I almost kind of want to make another one with the sunflower color, because she had like orange or brown and then orange and yellow, which I thought was adorable, but I did go for these brighter pinks because I thought they were also really cute. So that is my first finished project, and I really made this in not very long at all. It probably took me about a week working on it on and off. So my next project is in this lovely box, and it's so cute and fun, and I love all of these colors. So I grabbed a bunch of different colors. I'll show you the yarn in a second, and I started crocheting up some granny squares, and they're so fast and easy. I really just kind of forgot because I hadn't crocheted in a while. Now my hope is to make probably a bag similar to the one I just showed you, but with crochet granny squares instead. So the yarn I'm using for this project is Lori Holt Chunky Thread, and this is actually a really small, it's a size 2 yarn. So if you're a brand new crocheter, I would suggest maybe a size 4. It's a little bit thicker and easier to work with. I didn't quite realize it was so skinny, but this is almost like, you know, like a fingering weight thread. So these skeins also are kind of tiny. I was kind of surprised when they came. They look a little bit bigger in the pictures, but they're actually really pretty small. So you will need sort of a lot of these if you're going to do something like a bag or anything like that. But they are cotton, which I love the feel of, and so I'm loving it. So this is going to be my neutral. This is going to be kind of the outside, sort of like my other bag that I just showed you. And let's go through my supplies really quick. So I'm using a size G hook. This is my Clover Amour hook, and I love these hooks because this is kind of rubbery, so it's easy to grip, and then it has this flat side right there that you can put your thumb, and so it's really nice and easy. And then I also love the head on these. They are a little bit pointy, and I think it makes it a little bit easier to get into all of those stitches. So I love these. I have a whole set of them, and I will link them below. The other thing I'm using are these Clover yarn needles, and I'm using these to weave in all my ends. And with granny squares, I like to weave in my ends as I go, because otherwise it can be really overwhelming because there's so many ends. But here's what the needle looks like, and it has that little bent tip on it, and then of course a nice large eye for the yarn. And I think the bent tip just really helps me when I'm weaving in my ends, and so I'm using those. I love them, and as a matter of fact, my daughters are always stealing these, so I finally went and bought us each our own set. We're going to put our names on them, and then everybody has their own set, and if they lose theirs, they can replace them, but these ones are Mom's. Next thing I'm using are these cute scissors, and these are kind of the rainbow, like oil slick kind of looking scissors. These are from Warm Heart Scissors, and I have a ton of these scissors all over my sewing room. I love their kind of vintage filigree ones. They have bronze, gold, silver, and then of course they have some of these fun colors as well. These do take a little bit longer in shipping, but they're worth it. They're nice and heavy scissors. They're sharp. They're pointy. I mean, they're perfect. So I have these in my stash as well. So those are my 3 main supplies for this project, plus the yarn. So that's it. Crochet is so fast and easy. Okay. So here's my pile of granny squares that I have going so far. And like I said, I do think I'm going to make them into a bag project, but they're so fast to put together that I have way more than I need for my bag right now. So I think I might keep going, and I might end up doing a little throw blanket or something like that. But we can kind of go through them together. So here, and I'm just trying, they're all different. I'm just trying to kind of make them look cute in and of themselves, but they don't necessarily match each other. I'm also trying to make sure I have about an even amount of the outside color. So, you know, 3 or 4 greens, 3 or 4 pinks, that kind of thing. That way, hopefully they're not all looking like I made too many of one color. And these colors from Lori Holt are really cute, and they just all go together so well. So I'm having so much fun. I kind of just blindly grab. Sometimes I'll pre-plan, but I just start one and then just grab a next color and grab a next color. And so they've been a lot of fun. And so this is, I don't know how many I have so far, but you can see that this thread is a little bit thinner. Like I said, it's a size 2, so I was surprised at how thin the thread is. I think these 4 rounds are about 3.5 inches for the granny square, and then I'm going to use the white to do another round. I'm just doing all the colored rounds first, and then I'll go back through and add the white on all of them. But as you can see, they all already have their ends woven in, and I just like to do that because I think it saves time. It can also be really overwhelming at the end when you have a ton of granny squares with ends everywhere. And if you're a beginner, I think it's harder to do the stitches if you have ends hanging off the back of your blocks. And because I know that you guys will ask, and people have already asked, I will be doing a tutorial on how to do a granny square, and that will be coming soon. Super beginner friendly and easy, and I think it's a great way to get into crochet. So those are my crochet and knit projects. Let's go ahead and move into quilting. I have some fun sneak peeks and a new project I think you're gonna like. So I just wanted to re-show my Just Keep Sewing mini. This one released a few weeks ago, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, but just in case you missed it, this is the Just Keep Sewing wall mini, and it's really fun. And I still haven't had a chance, but I am going to embroider some pins on that pin cushion in there. And one of you guys gave me the idea to use mini buttons as the pin heads, and I thought that was so cute. So that will be coming soon, and I'll make sure to post a picture of that on my Instagram once I do it. And then again, the backing for this was Shine On by Bonnie and Camille, which I love. And the binding is from their One Fine Day collection. I thought it just turned out so cute. And then if you can see that tag on there that has my name on it, that is from my Stitch Supply Co. advent calendar that I got this past Christmas. Do plan on getting that again. That was so much fun to open. So the Just Keep Sewing mini wall mini is in my shop now. And then here is the April Quilty Truck of the Month. I showed this last time as well, I believe. This one is so fun, and I hope that you guys are taking a chance and doing that Dresden umbrella because it's really cute. I think it turned out great, and I'm so glad we chose to do the Dresden versus a pieced umbrella because I think it just gives it a little something extra. And then, of course, I challenged you with those tiny pieces on that chick up there. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this one and had fun. Again, this one, the fabric on the front is Canning Day by Corey Yoder. And then on the back, I have a floral print. This is from Lella Boutique from her Nest line, and I just thought it was so cute. So here is the April Quilty, and then the April Stitchy. And hopefully you guys are all having fun making those. So we're gonna do a May sneak peek next. So here is the May Quilty Truck of the Month. I think it turned out so cute. I actually used a mix of fabrics on this, and I know I told you before that I didn't have a whole lot of purple in my stash, and of course the tulips and the words are both in purple. And so I used a line that I had gotten, I think from my Sew Sampler box. It's called Whimsical Romance by Keera Job, and it's just got these really lovely lavender prints. She even had this kind of darker purple in there, and it was just really pretty, and I think it fit the May truck really well. So here's that fabric right there on the May letters. It's so pretty and I love it. And then the truck is actually a Lella Boutique print. This is a floral dot from her, and so is the little watering can. And then that purple is again on the tulip in the truck bed. So, and then on the back of this one, I used Lella Boutique print again. I think this is still from her Nest line, and then that navy is actually from her. This is an older line by Lella Boutique. What is it called? Gooseberry, I think, is what that one came from. Don't quote me on that, but anyways, here they are together. I think they just turned out so cute. So we're almost done with the trucks of the month. We've got June and July left, and then we'll have all of the trucks done, and I will bundle them up together in one bundle for you if you're interested in that. So you can stay tuned. They will also be available in paper at that time as well. Right now, they're only available in PDF, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. I'm having so much fun making them. Let's move on to the next thing because I think you guys are gonna like it. So I know you probably remember my Weekender zipper tote, and a lot of requests were made for a mini version. And so inside this bigger version, I have a little surprise for you. It is the mini. But before we get to that, I did want to show or remind you that I have a matching train case for it, and I thought with the large size, the train case and the mini, they were a perfect little travel set to go together. And so I actually bundled them in my shop. You can buy the patterns individually, or you can buy the bundle with all three of them because they went together so cute. And I think they would make the perfect travel set because you've got your large size, you've got your little train case for makeup and stuff, and then now we have the mini. This one is about 13 long by 5 wide by about 9 inches high. So it's roughly half of the size of the larger one, but it has all the exact same features. So we've still got the little pockets right here on the sides. We've got pockets on the front and the back, and then of course the other side. And then it has the regular handles. It's got a pocket inside as well. And then it's got this crossbody strap too. Now the only difference is on the main one, I used gold hardware. On this one, I'm using this adorable rose gold hardware. Here's a close-up of it. This is from Sally Tomato, and look at that hardware. Isn't that adorable? So the other one has the gold, and then this one has the rose gold. This one has a blue zipper. The larger one has a pink zipper. Otherwise, they are identical, except this one is tiny and adorable. So this one is the perfect size for a child-size bag, but like I mentioned, I thought it was also, it's really kind of a purse size. So I thought it was a great addition to have a whole travel set of matching bags, and so I did bundle them together because they were so cute, just going together like that. And so I think it is kind of multifunctional. As a matter of fact, I plan to probably fill it and take it to my next quilt guild meeting and maybe even knit night because it's so cute. Again, for this one, I used Pam Kitty Morning fabric from my stash. I don't know if you can still get this. I've had a lot of questions on it because it is an older out of print line. I would check Etsy maybe and see if they still have any of it, and just search Pam Kitty Morning fabric by Lake House Dry Goods, and you should be able to find something if it's still available. Now I will have a video on this coming soon, but it's not a full tutorial. I just am going to show the bag in a lot more detail. I show up close and all the details and information there. But the assembly for this is identical. The sizing is the only thing that is different. So the way you put it together is exactly the same. So you can grab the pattern and then just follow the original video for the full size version. But it's all put together the same. It's just a much cuter and smaller version of the large ones. So thank you for requesting it. I think it turned out really cute, and I'm so glad that I did it because it's probably one of my new favorite bags of all time. All right, so that's all of the projects that I've had. I've been super busy working on upcoming videos and new things for you guys, so that'll be coming soon. Those are just my finishes that I am able to show you for now. So let's move on into some acquisitions because I have some really cool, exciting things to share, and then we'll get into some giveaways. So I always get questions on how I quilt my projects, and up until now I've always quilted my own quilts and all of my mini projects on my Juki TL2000 QI. I did a review for it, and I will put a link for that below if you want more information. It's just my standard quilting sewing machine, and I love it so much, but I've always wanted to delve into the world of long arm quilting. And so about 2 years ago during the pandemic, I had an Instagram message from someone who said, hey, if you live in this area, there's this really cool quilting frame for really cheap on Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, well, what could I have to lose? It was a $25 purchase, you guys, and it is a Grace King quilting, long arm quilting frame. So we didn't actually know what it was because the seller wasn't sure. They were selling it for someone else. And when we got there, it was just in pieces. We had no idea what it was. I gave the guy $25. I gave her a few of my patterns because I thought, well, you know, that was really nice of them. Put it in my husband's truck, drove it all the way home, no clue what we were getting into. My son and I started putting it together, and we realized that it wasn't the mini frame they thought it was. It was actually a Grace King frame. It's actually been sitting in my basement up until now, just being unused because one of the carriage wheels was broken and I'd searched all over. I could not find replacements. I had to buy a whole new carriage, which was a few $100s. And so I had just been kind of stalling until now when I thought, you know what, I really do want to give this a try. So we ordered a frame and we put my TL2000 on that frame, and I was able to quilt some things on there, and it is so much fun. Now I'm brand new at long arm quilting, so I'm horrible at it, but I'm really having fun learning. In the process, I realized that with my Juki, even though it's got a pretty good size throat space for quilting, once you put it on a long arm, you really have about a 5-inch strip that you can quilt. And so if you want to do larger designs, I just can't do it on there. And so a friend of mine on Instagram said, hey, I have a used Juki QVP 2200 Virtuoso machine. Would you like it? And I said, yes. And so we worked it out. We got it shipped here. And I'm so excited to try it. Unfortunately, UPS dropped the box and actually damaged the machine. So it's currently in the shop being fixed. Hopefully it will be good as new when I get it back, and then I will make sure to film some of that. But I did film a video on the frame and showing you kind of how to use it. So that will be coming soon. And then once I get my QVP, I'm so excited. I can't even wait to try it. Then I'll be able to quilt like a nice large area and we can try and do some fun stuff. So in the meantime, I'm watching a ton of tutorials and trying to figure out how to use it because it is a whole new skill set. So if you're new to quilting, the way I've been doing it is my Juki sits on my table, and you've probably seen it in other videos, but I physically move the quilt underneath the machine. So I'm moving the quilt around. With a long arm, the quilt is loaded stationary on the quilting frame, and then you actually move the machine around. So it's got little handles on it and you kind of drive the machine. And one thing I've already noticed is I have a lot less skip stitches or thread breaking when I do it on the long arm downstairs versus moving the fabric. So I think I'm still moving my fabric just a little bit too fast for my machine. But then when you're moving the machine, somehow it's a lot smoother and works a lot better. I don't know. So I got such a great deal on my long arm setup. I can't even believe it. I'm feeling so blessed. So thank you, Carrie, so much for helping me out and for that person on Facebook selling that frame for so cheap. I'm blown away. And I'm also really excited to get started. So stay tuned. I'll have some content on that coming up soon. So my next big acquisition, I guess you could say, is my new Oliso. This is their brand new Pro Smart iron, and it is the TG 1600 Pro Plus Smart iron. That's a lot. And this is what it looks like. I got the aqua color. Most of you know that I already have the pink. Now this is their upgraded iron. My pink iron is probably 3 years old now, I think. I'm not sure. It's still going strong and I love it. But they did want to send me an upgrade so that I could kind of see the new features. And one of the things that is new on these new irons is this diamond, what's it called? Ceramic flow. Diamond ceramic flow plate. And here's my pink iron. So that's what the plate used to look like, and then this new one. And this new one is supposed to be non-stick, which I think will be handy. I don't think I've ever had anything really stick to my other one, but I do like that it is a non-stick plate. I think it's supposed to be easier to clean, and it's supposed to be more evenly distribute the heat more evenly, I think. Of course, it has the standard Oliso feet on the bottom. It's got this touch sensor, so when you pick it up, the feet retract so you can use the iron. It has the steam. I do want to say that since I've been using my Oliso irons, I haven't even been using steam because the iron itself is really heavy, and I found that the heat plus the heaviness of the iron actually does a great job making my blocks nice and flat. Plus that in conjunction with a tailor's clapper, and I just haven't even needed to use steam. But they do have a steam reservoir here. I did want to give you a little tip on steam in irons, and not just Olisos, but like all irons. If you do use steam, make sure at the end of the day or the end of the sewing session, you turn the steam off and empty the water from your tank. That way, next time you turn it on, you won't have that brown gunky water that spews out. It just sits in there and it gathers, like if you have hard water and things like that, and then it just comes out when you turn the iron back on. So no bueno, nobody wants that on their fabric. So just empty it out, turn off your steam, and then when you go to use it again, you can put in new water and turn your steam back on, and you should be good to go. This iron has, just like before, it's got their different settings you can choose. I kind of tend to always have mine on the hottest. It's got 3 different steam settings. It has the little spray button and the steam button if you want extra steam. And then it also has this indicator, that's just the power indicator. Now, one thing that I noticed that's different between this one and my old one is that you can turn the iTouch off on the old irons. On the new ones, it looks like they don't give you that capability anymore. And when you turn it off, you can see the feet on the pink one are out. So those are the feet. This one is up because I just haven't turned it on yet. But you used to be able to turn those off so the feet always stayed out or up in your iron, and now they took that away. And so I don't know if that was just a feature people weren't using or if it was a safety thing. I don't know. You can still set it like this if you want. It's got feet down here. But really for the Olisos, you just leave them flat on your table. It makes it a lot easier because you don't have little hands coming and accidentally burning themselves on the faceplate of the iron. And also I think it's a little more stable for it to be sitting like this than up like this, so they don't fall over. So these are awesome. I'm so excited to have this aqua one. And since I have two now, I think I'm gonna use the pink one for things like fusible. So that's gonna be kind of my like dirty iron. And then for anything non-fusible, I'm gonna use my aqua, and this will be like the clean iron. So this is one of my super exciting acquisitions this month, and I do have a little mini to give away to you guys at the end of this video, so stay tuned. I have another fun little acquisition that goes along with it. So I have this snap bracelet, and I haven't taken off this is just we could take it off now. We'll do an unboxing. Voila. And it's just a magnetic bracelet, and snaps right on your wrist there. And then I got a set of these corsage pins to help load on my frame. And so I'm not going to leave it in there, but I'm going to put the pins on here. And then when you load the frame, and I'll show you all this in another video, you actually pin your quilt top to leader fabric. And so this is kind of a safety thing for me because Jax loves pins, and I was having my pin bowl sitting on the frame, and I was going back and forth and pinning, and I quickly realized I can't use my little pins for it because they just aren't strong enough or long enough. So I did need the corsage pins. They do recommend that. And then also he was attacking the pin bowl. I kept having to move it, and he eats pins. Like I don't even know why, but he eats them. So this way they'll be safe and secure on my wrist. I won't have a bowl laying somewhere on my long arm trying to pin things and having to fend off Jax at the same time. So, and I think this would actually be handy if you're, you know, pinning rows together or blocks together. So I hope to use this for more than just my long arm, but that's what I got it for. And then I know I mentioned that I want to do a little more English paper piecing, and so I did get a little pile of Tula Nova prints, and I think these are all from her True Colors line. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to do some fun fussy cutting. So I've got these fun stripes. I got some pink polka dots. I got this print, which I've been eyeing for a while because it's a rainbow color, kind of color changes as you go through the fat quarter, and I love it so much. So that'll be, I think, a really good border print. I got these three prints. This is definitely from her True Colors line. This one's kind of a lavender, a pink, and then a white. And I think this will be great for some background pieces. And then I also got this stitchy looking one. Sorry, my camera's really blowing that out. I'm in front of my window today. And then I have this blue one, which I think I've showed before. This has her the sewing machine on it. And then I also have a fat quarter bundle of her Cuirassor, which I know I showed last time as well. And I think what I've decided to do, instead of getting a whole brand new quilt pattern, I'm actually going to do the templates that I already have for my Tula Nova pattern and just do that circle in the center. And I think I'm going to make probably like, I'm thinking about 9 or so of them, and they look sort of like Dresden's. And so I'm just going to do that center circle, and then I'll pop those on some background fabric and put that together into a quilt. So that's my current plan, but I wanted to experiment with fussy cutting, and I didn't want to buy a whole new quilt pattern. And to be honest, some of the English paper piecing patterns out there are a little bit intense. And so some of the ones I was looking at were Daydreamer. I'll try and put up a picture here of that one. It's really cool, but it's also a lot. And so I think I'm still easing my way into the English paper piecing world, and I love it, but I do want something else to work on that's a little bit smaller and more manageable. So that is my next plan, and I am going to use these Tula pink prints for that. So I have some fun new products from Fat Quarter Shop to share with you, and these are going to be giveaways. So this first one is Away We Go pattern, and this one is small. It finishes at 45 by 45. We have an updated Set L stitch card from Lori Holt. This is a cross stitch pattern with those cute kitchen things. We have the Rockin' Around quilt pattern. This finishes at 48 by 48, another cute wall hanging. They show some different color features down there, but I think it would be really fun with like a white or creamy background with green, and then maybe popping in a red here and there, and it would just look like a cute Christmas tree. We have the Poinsettias quilt pattern. This one finishes at 54 by 69, so pretty good size. And then the Bloom Where You're Planted cross stitch. This is from It's So Emma Publishing Fat Quarter Shop, and that one is adorable, perfect for spring and summer. They also sent me one of their new Bee's Knees book stands, and these are the metal book stands. They've got this metal bit that comes out from the back, and so you can put that on your desk or table. You can use these in your kitchen, but I use it in my sewing room to keep my patterns on. I don't know about you, but when I'm sewing, I've usually got stuff all over my table, and I have before cut one of my patterns in half because I didn't realize it was under the piece of fabric that I was cutting. So whoops. So now I like to use these. I have one sitting on my table, and then I just keep my pattern or my book on it, and then it's just out of the way and safe from all of my crazy cutting. It does have a little ridge right here for your books, so it'll hold your book open, but I also put my paper patterns on here, or those ones that are in the spiral notebooks or whatever on here as well. So it's perfect. You can even put your design board on here and keep your pieces that are cut up here, and just safe and out of the way. So these are really fun. I know that they're expensive to produce, and Kimberly did say that she only does one color run at a time, and then when that color is sold out, they'll do another color. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more colors. They had aqua. I have a pink one already, and then they just did the yellow, so they'll probably do some more colors. I don't know for sure, but if you like the yellow, I would get it now because whatever they have in stock is what they have, and then they'll be gone after that. So let's jump into our giveaways. So the first one I have is this Oliso mini iron, and this one is in the aqua colorway, so it matches my big one, and I love this color so much I wanted to give away one to one of you guys. This one is their mini. It gets just as hot as the big one, so definitely watch out. You don't want to burn yourself on this little guy, but it's totally transportable. So if you go to a sewing retreat or anything like that, if you're, sewing at a friend's house, this one is perfect. I used to use it for small pieces, but now since those larger ones have that kind of point on the front of them, I actually use my Pro Smart pretty much 90% of the time. But if I do go somewhere, the mini is my go-to choice. So I love this so much, and it's got all the same features. It has a little water tank on it so you can have steam. It's also got a, fabric heat selector on it, and then it has that precision tip as well. And this one has that same diamond coated ceramic sole plate, so it maintains that even heat, and it also is the non-stick. It glides really nicely over your fabric, and so these are probably my all-time favorite irons. So I did want to give away one of these to one of you. So for the giveaway for this one, I think I would like for you to leave a comment below letting me know your favorite either spring fabric line, spring quilt pattern, or spring sewing pattern. I think that will be really fun because then we can all get different project ideas from each other that kind of relate to spring. Second requirement is that you need to be a subscriber of my YouTube channel. I would like for these giveaways to go to you guys who are really been following along and give you guys something special as a thank you. So make sure you're subscribed. And then third, I'm sorry, but it's US only. Shipping international right now is super expensive, so US only for the giveaways. So make sure you leave a comment, and let's take a look at the other giveaway prizes. Next up, I have 2 jelly rolls. I'm going to be giving these away individually. These are both from the Complete Boutique, and this first one is just a beautiful floral line. I think a jelly roll jamboree quilt in this would be adorable, or even a jelly roll rug. Oh, wouldn't that be so pretty? Now I kind of don't want to give it away. No, I will. And then they also have a solids line, and this just is a rainbow solids, and this would be beautiful in any of those patterns as well. I also put together this cute sampler pack of some of my favorite products. So this over here is a 6.5-inch Olfa frosted ruler, and the frosted rulers are great because they're a little bit frosty, which makes them completely non-slip, which is awesome, but you can still see through them, and the lines are really nice and crisp, so super great for cutting. I also have a set of Wonder Clips, which are my faves. I have a clover hair marker, which is one of my favorites as well, and then I have this cute little Christmas mini charm. This is called Holiday Essentials, and this is by Stacy Itsu, and it's just some adorable, fun little prints. And I think this would make a really cute drawstring squishy bag, by the way. I also have a bunch of fun patterns for this month's giveaway. So this first one is called Daydreams Quilt. I have Rolling Spools quilt pattern. This came from one of my pre-cut quilt boxes, and it's just so cute. I've got this Stars and Stripes quilt, and with it I'm going to be giving away this little 10-inch stacker, patriotic stacker, super cute. This came in my Liberty box from Fat Quarter Shop this year, and I don't think I'm going to get around to making it, but it's so adorable. I just really wanted it to go to someone who would love it. I have the Mon Chéri quilt pattern, and I'm going to give away the rest of this 10-inch stacker that I didn't use for my May block. So you could use that for that, or you could of course make this out of it. But this isn't a full 10-inch stacker. I did cut into it, but I still wanted to give, there's a ton of pieces I did not use. So I still wanted to give that away to somebody who would love it. I have the Hop Cross quilt pattern. This one is really beginner friendly and easy. Shine Bright by Fat Quarter Shop. This is Starry Checkers by Corey Yoder. Chuckles by Elizabeth Hartman. This is so cute. And then Live, Laugh, Grow by Lori Holt. So that's it for the giveaways. Again, make sure you leave a comment with your favorite spring pattern. It can be sewing or quilting or even cross stitch, doesn't matter. And if there was something specific you were interested in winning, make sure to leave that in your comment as well. That way I can hopefully get prizes out to people who actually want them and will use them. So that's going to be it for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to thumbs up and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming fun. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Over here as well, can you see that? Just recorded an entire podcast without sound. Second time's a charm. I don't remember how I started my last one. And then I have these faux wood. I think they're faux wood. My voice is all scratchy because it's the second time I've filmed. So I am using a size G hook, and this is my Clover Armour hook. This is a good travel size bag. I can't even fit me and it on the screen. Water. And because I know you guys will ask, so I have some fun new projects, so I have some fun new products from Fat Quarter Shop to show you guys. Maybe I'm dropping them. Let's start with the little one.